Pause for a moment. What you're about to hear is not motivation, it's not religion, and it's not a promise made to impress you. Some knowledge doesn't disappear, it waits. It waits for the moment when someone is ready to remember. If you found this video, it wasn't by accident, not because fate chose you, but because something in you is already asking different questions. Most people will stop here. They'll feel the pull and turn away. If you feel this message resonates, subscribe to the channel now, not out of habit, but because what comes next is built step by step, and you won't want to miss the codes that follow. This channel is not for everyone. It's for those who are ready to look at reality differently. Now take a breath. Let go of expectations. The Hidden Book of Rapid Law of Attraction, revealing secret codes to attract wealth, love and health in just a few days. Prologue. The scroll was found. They say that some books are not written for the eyes of the many, but for the soul of the few who are ready. Hidden away in dusty libraries, locked behind forbidden doors, or whispered only in dreams, these manuscripts carry codes that were never meant to be spoken lightly. What you are about to hear is not just information, it is an activation. It is the uncovering of a scroll that has been waiting for centuries for the right moment, and for the right listener. You. Imagine an ancient library, its walls lined with books no one dares to touch. In the deepest corner, wrapped in a cloth of faded gold, rests a single scroll, vibrating faintly with an energy beyond time. This is the Hidden Book of Rapid Law of Attraction. Unlike the ordinary teachings you may have heard, this book does not speak of waiting years for change. It speaks of days, 3 days, 72 hours in which reality bends, and what was once only a thought becomes matter, love or healing. You are not here by accident. This is your moment of alignment. Every word you will hear has been preserved, translated from symbols so old that their sound carries a vibration of its own. As you listen, your energy will begin to shift, not through effort, but through remembrance, because deep down, your soul already knows these codes. It has only been waiting for the right key to unlock them. This scroll was whispered about by travelers in the deserts of Egypt, by monks in hidden monasteries, by mystics who gazed into the stars. All spoke of a secret teaching that allowed ordinary men and women to manifest what others would call miracles. Wealth that appeared from nowhere, love that came with the certainty of destiny, health restored as if by the touch of invisible hands. For centuries, kings sought to own these codes, but they could never be held by power or force. The scroll chooses its reader, and now it has chosen you. As you hear these words, I invite you to close your eyes. Feel the weight of the ancient parchment in your hands. The letters carved upon it are not just ink, they are energy crystallized into symbols. Each chapter you will enter is a portal, a doorway into a dimension where thoughts are not abstract but alive, breathing, waiting to be given shape. The law of attraction, as you know it, has been simplified, distorted and marketed, but in its pure form, it is not just about thoughts, it is about codes. Codes that align mind, heart and spirit in such a way that the universe cannot help but respond. This is not about begging or chasing. It is about remembering the original frequency of creation itself. You will notice, as this journey begins, that strange coincidences may start appearing in your life, numbers repeating, conversations aligning, people showing up at the exact moment you needed them. These are not accidents. They are the universe shifting around you, responding to the vibration that this scroll will awaken within you. But before we step into the first chapter, you must understand one truth. With knowledge comes responsibility. These codes are not toys. They are not meant for greed or harm. They are keys to a door, and how you use what lies beyond that door will shape not only your life, but the ripple it creates in the lives of those around you. So, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, as if you were breathing in the dust of the centuries that have guarded this secret. Exhale, releasing the weight of doubts and fears that no longer belong to you. From this moment on, you are no longer just a listener, you are a keeper of the scroll. In the following chapters, we will decode step by step the mysteries of rapid manifestation. You will learn how to access the forgotten frequency, the true power of desire, the ritual of the three energies, and the sacred code of 72 hours. These teachings were hidden not because they are dangerous, but because they are sacred. They work too quickly, too powerfully, and the unprepared could misuse them. But you are here. You are ready, and the scroll opens before you now. Welcome, keeper of the secret scrolls. The book is in your hands. Chapter 1, The Forgotten Frequency. They say that in the beginning, before men spoke words, before civilizations carved symbols on stone, before kingdoms rose and fell, there was only vibration. The universe itself was born not from silence, but from sound. A frequency, pure and eternal, echoed across the void and unfolded into stars, galaxies, and life itself. This, dear listener, is the origin of the forgotten frequency. For centuries, mystics whispered of a tone that could open the gates of manifestation faster than thought alone. They described it as a hum beneath reality, like the hidden heartbeat of creation. Those who could align themselves with it did not have to beg for their desires. They only had to tune in, and the universe would arrange itself around them. But over time, humanity forgot. The noise of fear, of survival, of endless striving, drowned out the frequency. What was once natural became mystical. What was once accessible became secret. Yet the scroll you now hold reveals it again. The forgotten frequency is not a metaphor. It is a code embedded in your very being. Every cell in your body vibrates. Every thought sends ripples into the field. Every emotion creates waves. But there is a hidden alignment, a combination of thought, feeling, and breath that resonates with the original tone of creation. And when you strike this chord within yourself, manifestation does not crawl, it races. Think of it this way: the universe is like a vast ocean. Your thoughts are pebbles tossed into it. Small ripples spread. Sometimes they collide, sometimes they disappear. But when you remember the forgotten frequency, it is as if you strike a massive bell at the center of that ocean. The resonance is so deep, so powerful, that everything in its reach must respond. Waves form, tides shift, and soon the shores of your reality are reshaped. The mystics called this tone many names. In Egypt, it was the sound of the sun. In India, sages spoke of it as Aum, the vibration of the eternal. In forgotten monasteries, monks chanted syllables not for religion, but for resonance, aligning themselves with the heartbeat of creation. And yet, beyond the names, beyond the rituals, they all spoke of the same truth, a single frequency that unlocks the speed of manifestation. You might ask, how do I hear it? How do I find this forgotten tone? The answer is both simple and mysterious. You do not hear it with your ears, you feel it with your soul. It is the moment when your desire is no longer a question, but a certainty. The second your heart and mind move in the same rhythm, without resistance, you begin to vibrate in harmony with the forgotten frequency. Let me guide you. Close your eyes now. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe slowly. Inhale through your nose and feel the air entering not just your lungs, but your entire being. Exhale softly, letting go of all doubt. Repeat this 3 times. Now, think of something you deeply desire: wealth, love, health. But do not think of it as far away. Imagine it here, now, as if your soul is already living it. Feel the warmth of having it. Notice how your body changes when you no longer hope, but know. That sensation in your chest, that calm yet powerful hum, this is the first touch of the forgotten frequency. The scroll tells us that this frequency has 3 keys: emotion, breath, and intention. Emotion is the fire, breath is the wind, and intention is the spark. Alone they are weak. Together they ignite the code of rapid manifestation. When you breathe in rhythm, feel the desire is already fulfilled, and hold the clear image in your mind. You are not wishing, you are tuning. You become a transmitter of the original tone of creation, and the universe cannot ignore it. Stories from the ancients prove this. A monk in Tibet who called the rain in 3 days by entering the vibration of abundance. A desert traveler who, with only intention and breath, manifested food when starvation seemed certain. A woman in Greece who, through this tone, drew love into her life that defied all obstacles. These were not miracles. They were the results of aligning with the forgotten frequency. Science, too, begins to echo what the scroll has always known. Modern physics teaches us that everything is vibration, that matter itself is energy slowed into form. Experiments show that thought affects matter, that emotion shapes reality. What mystics whispered, scientists now prove. But the scroll reminds us, knowledge alone is not enough. You must practice the frequency. So, how do you begin? Each day, set aside 3 minutes. Yes, only 3. Sit quietly. Breathe deeply. Choose one desire. See it in your mind, not as a dream, but as a memory. Feel gratitude as if it is already yours. Breathe into your chest until your body hums with calm certainty. This is the practice of remembrance. As you repeat it, your cells begin to vibrate differently. Life rearranges. Coincidences multiply. What once felt impossible begins to knock at your door. But here lies the warning. If you use the forgotten frequency with fear, doubt, or greed, you will amplify those instead. The frequency does not discriminate. It only magnifies. That is why the ancients protected it. That is why it was hidden. Not to keep it from you, but to ensure you would be ready. And now, as you listen, you are ready. The scroll has chosen this moment. The forgotten frequency is no longer buried in dust. It is alive within you. Remember, you are not learning something new. You are remembering what your soul has always known. The tone is within you, waiting to be struck like a sacred bell. And once you align with it, manifestation becomes not a distant hope, but a rapid unfolding. This is the first code, the code of vibration, the code of remembrance, the code of the forgotten frequency. Welcome, keeper of the scrolls. The resonance has begun. Chapter 2. The Code of Desire. Desire is one of the most misunderstood forces in human existence. To some, desire has been condemned, labeled as dangerous or selfish. To others, it has been glorified, worshipped as the flame that drives all creation. But within the pages of this hidden scroll, desire is revealed not as vice or virtue, but as the code itself. Without desire, there is no motion, no creation, no manifestation. It is desire that awakens the soul and whispers, there is more to become. The ancients knew that every manifestation begins not with thought, but with the spark of desire. Thought is the structure, emotion is the fuel, but desire is the ignition. Imagine a lamp filled with oil. The oil is potential, the wick is focus, but it is desire that strikes the flame and brings light into the darkness. Without it, nothing moves. With it, the universe bends to respond, but here lies the forgotten truth. Not all desires are equal. The scroll speaks of 2 types of desire, hollow desire and sacred desire. Hollow desire is born of lack. It says, I do not have, so I must take. It carries the frequency of emptiness, and when it manifests, it brings only more emptiness. Sacred desire, however, is different. It is born not from lack, but from remembrance. It is the soul recalling what it was always meant to experience: wealth, love, health, joy. Sacred desire does not come from outside. It rises from within, like a memory knocking on the door of your spirit. The code of desire, then, is the ability to distinguish between the hollow and the sacred. When you align with sacred desire, manifestation accelerates. The universe recognizes it instantly because it is in harmony with the original frequency of creation. Hollow desire struggles, delays, and often leads to frustration. Sacred desire flows, attracts, and arrives with ease. How do you tell the difference? The scroll offers a simple test. Close your eyes and imagine the desire fulfilled. If your body tightens, if fear whispers, if doubt clings, it is hollow. But if your heart expands, if peace and joy bloom within you, it is sacred. The body knows the difference. Your cells vibrate in harmony with truth and shiver in resistance to illusion. There is a story written in the margins of this manuscript about a young seeker who asked a sage how to manifest love. "First," said the sage, "tell me why you want love." The seeker replied, "Because I feel empty without it." The sage shook his head. "Then love will not come, for emptiness cannot attract fullness. You must desire love not to fill a hole, but to share the abundance that already flows within you." The seeker meditated on this and realized the truth. Sacred desire is never about taking. It is about overflowing. And so the scroll reveals the ritual of the flame of desire. To practice, sit in silence. Breathe deeply until your thoughts grow quiet. Then place your hand over your heart and ask, "What is the desire my soul remembers?" Do not force an answer. Wait for the image, the feeling, the whisper that rises. It may be wealth, not to hoard, but to create freedom and impact. It may be love, not to rescue you, but to magnify joy. It may be health, not just to survive, but to embody life in its fullness. When you feel the warmth in your chest, you have found the flame. That is sacred desire. Once you have found it, the code instructs you to write it down, not as a wish, but as a statement of remembrance. Do not write, "I want wealth." Write, "I remember wealth is mine." Do not write, "I want love." Write, "I remember love flows to me." Do not write, "I want health." Write, "I remember my body is whole." By speaking in remembrance, you align with the truth that it already exists within you, waiting to unfold. The scroll also warns of the shadow of desire. If you cling too tightly, if you chase desperately, the energy shifts back into hollow desire. The secret is paradoxical. Desire must burn like fire, but it must not consume you. You must hold it like a bird in your hand, gentle enough to let it breathe, firm enough not to let it fly away. Too much grasping suffocates, too much distance loses it. Balance is the code, and here is the mystery. When desire becomes sacred, it ceases to feel like desire at all. It feels like destiny. It is no longer something you chase, but something you align with. You begin to sense that what you long for is already moving toward you, just as you are moving toward it. Two rivers flowing to meet in the ocean. Modern seekers often speak of visualization, but visualization without sacred desire is only fantasy. Sacred desire adds the current of inevitability. It transforms someday into soon, and soon into now. The universe cannot resist it, because it is the universe itself that placed it within you. As you listen, pause for a moment, place your desire in front of you, as if it were written on parchment. Ask yourself, is this hollow or is this sacred? Feel the answer. If it is hollow, release it gently. If it is sacred, ignite it. Breathe life into it with gratitude as if it were already true. In that moment, you activate the code of desire. The scroll closes this chapter with a warning and a promise. What you desire desires you, but only when you remember the true origin of the flame. Hollow desire is a spark that burns out quickly. Sacred desire is eternal fire, and once lit, it cannot be extinguished. So now, keeper of the scrolls, hold the flame, guard it, feed it with faith and gratitude, for this is the second key, the second code, the code of desire. Chapter 3. The Ritual of the Three Energies. The scroll tells us that every creation, every manifestation, and every miracle ever born into this world has been powered by three sacred forces. The ancients called them the three energies of manifestation. Alone, each energy is strong but incomplete. Together, they form the ritual that bends reality at a speed so profound it feels like magic. These energies are the mind, the heart, and the breath. The ancients described them as three flames burning within the human temple. The flame of the mind, sharp and luminous, able to carve visions and create images unseen. The flame of the heart, warm and boundless, generating emotions that carry the frequency of truth. And the flame of the breath, invisible yet essential, connecting spirit to body, heaven to earth. When these three flames burn separately, they flicker and fade. But when they unite, they ignite the hidden codes of rapid manifestation. Think of a bow and arrow. The mind is the arrow, precise and sharp, carrying direction. The heart is the bow, strong and flexible, holding the emotional tension that fuels the shot. The breath is the release, the force that sends the arrow flying toward its target. Without all three, the arrow cannot reach its mark. With all three aligned, manifestation becomes inevitable. The scroll provides a ritual so simple and yet so sacred that for centuries it was only whispered from teacher to disciple under the cover of night. It begins with breath. Sit in stillness. Inhale deeply, filling your lungs until your chest expands. Hold for a moment, as if suspending time itself, then exhale slowly, feeling the weight of doubt leaving your body. Repeat this 3 times. With each breath, imagine yourself stepping deeper into the temple of your being. Once the body is calm, bring your mind into focus. Choose one vision, not many, only one. The scroll warns, scattered thoughts scatter energy. Precision creates power. See it clearly. If it is wealth, imagine not coins or bills, but the freedom and choices that wealth gives. If it is love, see not a face you do not know, but the feeling of companionship, laughter, and trust. If it is health, see not simply the absence of illness, but the vitality of running, dancing, breathing freely. The mind paints the picture on the canvas of reality. Now, call upon the heart. Place your hand over your chest and breathe into it. Feel warmth rising as if your hand is feeding fire, then summon the emotion as if the vision were already real. Gratitude, joy, relief, peace, whatever feeling would naturally flow if your desire had already arrived. Let the emotion expand until it fills every corner of your body. The scroll reminds us the heart does not speak in words, it speaks in vibrations, and the universe understands this language perfectly. Finally, unite breath with mind and heart. On your next inhale, see the vision in your mind. On the hold, feel the emotion in your heart. On the exhale, release both into the universe, as if your breath were carrying your creation into the invisible field. Repeat this cycle for 7 breaths. 7, the sacred number of completion, the number written in the margins of countless scrolls. With each cycle, the energies weave together, creating resonance with the field of all possibilities. The ritual may take only minutes, but its power lies not in length, but in alignment. The scroll states, "When the three energies burn as one, reality has no choice but to respond. It is like striking a sacred chord on a cosmic instrument. The vibration echoes, and the universe tunes itself to your song. The ancients practiced this ritual at sunrise and sunset, believing those hours to be thresholds where the veil between worlds was thin. Modern seekers may practice it at any time, but the key remains the same: consistency. To align once is powerful, to align daily is unstoppable. But the scroll also gives a warning: if the energies are misaligned, the ritual backfires. If the mind holds fear, the heart holds doubt, and the breath is shallow, then the frequency created is chaos. Instead of drawing what you love, you may amplify what you fear. That is why the ritual requires stillness first. Breath cleanses, mind focuses, heart ignites. Only then can creation flow. There is a story written between the lines of the manuscript. A healer in the mountains used the ritual to bring rain during a drought. He did not beg the sky. He did not pray for pity. He breathed deeply, envisioned the earth soaked with water, felt the joy of villagers dancing in puddles, and with every exhale he released gratitude as if the rain were already falling. Within 3 days, the sky broke open and water poured from the heavens. The villagers called it a miracle. The healer called it alignment. The scroll teaches that this ritual is not about forcing the universe. It is about synchronizing with what already exists. Your desire is not something to be created from nothing. It already lives in the field of possibility. The ritual of the 3 energies is the code that pulls it from the unseen into the seen, from thought into form, from potential into matter. As you practice, you may begin to feel subtle shifts: a hum in your chest, a tingling in your hands, a calm certainty in your mind. These are not imagination. They are signs that the energies are weaving, that you are striking the chord of creation. And soon, the outer world will begin to echo the inner. Opportunities will appear, synchronicities will multiply, and what once seemed far away will stand before you. The chapter ends with a final instruction, written in crimson ink: guard the ritual. Do not waste it on whims or petty wants. Use it to create what elevates your life and the lives of others. For when the 3 energies unite, the fire they unleash is not easily extinguished. Keeper of the scrolls, the flame is now in your hands. Align your mind, ignite your heart, breathe your spirit. This is the 3rd code, the ritual of the 3 energies. Chapter 4, the secret of 72 hours. Throughout the scroll, the ancients wrote of a mysterious number, 72, a number whispered in temples, hidden in chants, engraved in symbols across different civilizations. 72 was never random. It was the measure of a cycle, the window of alignment, the proof that once the code of manifestation was ignited, the universe required only 72 hours, 3 days, to respond. Why 3 days? Why 72 hours? The scroll explains that creation unfolds in phases. On the first day, the seed is planted. On the second day, the seed germinates in the unseen soil of the universe. And on the third day, it breaks through into reality. This cycle is mirrored everywhere. The sun rises and sets in 3 stages. The moon moves through phases. Even the human body renews countless processes in 72 hours. It is the rhythm of manifestation itself. The mystics called it the law of 3. They taught that when a desire was aligned through mind, heart, and breath, it would enter the unseen field and begin its journey toward matter. Unlike ordinary desires that wander endlessly, sacred desires charged with the ritual would strike resonance immediately. The vibration would echo through the field, and within 72 hours, reality would bend to deliver the first visible sign of arrival. But here is the forgotten truth. The manifestation in 72 hours does not always appear in its full form. Sometimes it comes as a sign, a coincidence, an open door, a message from the universe saying, "I heard you, I am moving." The scroll urges the keeper not to dismiss these as small or meaningless. To the untrained eye, they may seem insignificant, but to the one who remembers, they are the first fruits of the harvest. Let us imagine you ignite the ritual with the desire for wealth. On the first day, you breathe, you align, you release. That night, you feel lighter, as if a burden has been lifted. On the second day, you receive a message, a conversation, or a sudden idea. On the third day, an opportunity appears. A client calls, money flows in, or a solution arrives. This is the law of 72 hours. Desire moves quickly when aligned with the forgotten frequency and the three energies. The scroll tells the story of a wanderer who found himself starving in the desert. With no food and no coin, he remembered the ritual. He closed his eyes, breathed, saw himself eating, felt gratitude as if his stomach were full, and released it into the universe. Within 3 days, he stumbled upon a caravan, and the traders, moved by compassion, shared their bread. Was this coincidence, or was it the law? The ancients knew it was the law. But there is a warning carved in bold letters. Do not test the universe with doubt. If you plant a seed and dig it up every few hours to see if it has grown, you kill it. The 72-hour law works only when trust is complete. Plant the seed on day 1, water it with gratitude on day 2, reap the signs on day 3. If you demand proof too soon, the soil closes and the seed withers. The scroll describes a simple practice called the 3-day vigil. On the first day, you perform the ritual of the 3 energies with full alignment. On the second day, you live as though it has already happened, walking in gratitude, smiling at coincidences, expecting doors to open. On the third day, you remain alert, ready to recognize the arrival. This vigilance is not anxious waiting, but calm expectation. It is the certainty that the universe cannot ignore your vibration. The ancients believed that even the stars moved in cycles of 3. They spoke of 72 as a sacred vibration because it echoed the cosmic rhythm. Modern science, too, speaks of cycles. The human mind shifts brainwave patterns every 90 minutes. The body renews cells every 3 days. Energy fields pulse in rhythms unseen. What the mystics wrote as poetry, science now records as fact. The 72-hour window is not superstition. It is alignment with natural law. But the scroll adds a deeper mystery. It teaches that when you truly master the 72-hour law, manifestation becomes not only fast, but precise. The speed strips away the illusions of chance. You ask, and the response comes so quickly that doubt cannot survive. This rapid feedback trains your soul to trust more deeply, to align more fully, and soon you no longer wonder if manifestation works. You know, and once you know, you become unstoppable. The scroll speaks of 3 sacred words to repeat during the 72 hours. It is done. Say them not as hope, but as fact. Each morning and night, breathe deeply, place your hand on your chest, and whisper, "It is done." These words anchor you into the frequency of completion. They silence the voice of doubt and remind the universe that your desire is not a question, but a decree. There is another story written at the edge of the scroll, of a woman who longed for love. She performed the ritual and released it on the first day. On the second day, she felt joy rising unexpectedly, as though love was already walking beside her. On the third day, she met someone whose presence matched her desire. The villagers called it luck. She called it destiny. The scroll calls it the law. So, keeper of the scrolls, understand this. The 72-hour law is not about waiting. It is about trusting the rhythm of creation. The seed of desire germinates the moment you align, and within 3 days, signs and openings will appear. Your task is not to force, but to recognize, not to chase, but to allow. The chapter closes with this command: do not count hours, do not measure days with impatience. For the law is precise, but the form is fluid. Signs may arrive as whispers before they arrive as thunder. Honor the whispers, and the thunder will follow. You now hold the fourth code, the secret of 72 hours. Guard it, practice it, live it. And remember, when you align with the forgotten frequency, when you ignite the flame of desire, and when you unite the three energies, the universe does not need years, it needs only 3 days. Chapter 5, The Love Spiral. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. Entire civilizations have risen and fallen under its name. Songs, poems, and prayers across all cultures point to it as the essence of life itself. And yet, love is also the most misunderstood of all desires. People chase it, beg for it, cling to it, and yet it slips through their fingers like water. Why? Because love, the scroll teaches us, cannot be forced. It must be spiraled. The ancients described love not as a straight path, but as a spiral of energy. Unlike a line that moves forward, a spiral curves inward and upward, dissolving resistance at every turn. When love is sought through desperation, the energy contracts. When love is demanded, it resists. But when you step into the love spiral, you release the grip of fear, and the energy expands outward, drawing love into your life naturally, without effort. The love spiral begins within. The scroll says, to call love, you must first become love. Not in a superficial sense, not in forced affirmations or empty words, but in vibrational truth. Imagine a spiral of light in your chest, gently spinning. With each breath, it expands wider, radiating warmth through your body. This spiral is not reaching outward to grab love. It is spinning inward to dissolve the shadows that block it. The anger, the heartbreak, the fear of rejection. All are slowly unwound by the spiral's rhythm. The secret is this: resistance is the only thing that keeps love away. The universe never withholds love. Love flows endlessly like sunlight. But when you hold fear, doubt, or wounds, it is as if you build walls that block the rays. The spiral melts these walls, brick by brick, until love flows to you as easily as light through an open window. There is a story written in this chapter of a woman who longed for love, but was trapped in bitterness after betrayal. She performed rituals, whispered affirmations, but nothing changed. One night, guided by a sage, she sat in silence and imagined a spiral of light spinning in her chest. With each breath, she released resentment, watching it dissolve into the spiral. For 3 days, she repeated this. On the 4th day, she awoke with peace so deep it startled her. A week later, love appeared, not because she chased it, but because she had spiraled into alignment. The scroll reveals the 3 movements of the love spiral: release, radiate, receive. Release is the first step. With each breath, let go of the weight you carry. Memories of heartbreak, the belief that you are unworthy, the fear of being alone. Place them into the spiral and watch them dissolve. Radiate is the second. Once the spiral clears the shadows, fill it with emotions of love already present. Gratitude for friends, joy for small moments, appreciation for yourself. The spiral grows brighter, and your frequency shifts. Receive is the final. Stand in openness. Trust that love is already circling you, waiting to flow in. Do not chase, do not demand. Simply receive as the spiral extends beyond you, touching the field of possibilities. This is why the scroll calls it a spiral and not a line. A line seeks outward, but a spiral expands naturally. It creates a magnetic pull that draws what resonates. Love, then, does not come to complete you. It comes to echo the love you already spiral within. The scroll warns, beware of counterfeit spirals. When you pretend to release but still cling, the spiral weakens. When you radiate from ego rather than truth, the spiral distorts. When you receive with desperation, the spiral collapses. Only honesty fuels the spiral's rhythm. There is another story of a man who desired companionship but felt unworthy. Every attempt to attract love ended in rejection. Finally, he discovered the spiral. For weeks, he sat each dawn, breathing into the spiral, releasing shame, radiating gratitude, receiving peace. Then, without trying, he met someone whose heart mirrored his own. This is the spiral's promise. When resistance dissolves, love finds its way without struggle. Science, too, hints at this mystery. Studies show that emotions emit measurable frequencies, and love radiates one of the highest vibrations. When you spiral into love internally, your body emits a frequency that attracts alignment externally. The law is not magic, it is resonance. The scroll simply gives language to what the soul already knows. The ritual of the love spiral can be practiced each night before sleep. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine the spiral in your chest. On each inhale, draw in peace. On each exhale, release pain. Let the spiral grow brighter with every breath until your entire body glows. Whisper softly, I am love. I radiate love. I receive love. Fall asleep in this frequency, and the universe will spin its own spirals around you. But the scroll adds a final teaching. The spiral does not end with romantic love. Its energy calls friendships, opportunities, compassion, even healing. When you spiral into love, everything in your life bends toward harmony. Money flows more easily, health improves, doors open. Because love is the highest frequency, and when you spiral into it, you align with the force that sustains all creation. Keeper of the scrolls, remember this. Love is not something you find. It is something you allow. You do not chase the spiral, you become it. And once you do, the universe cannot resist echoing it back to you. This is the fifth code, the spiral of love. Chapter 6, the golden mirror technique. There is a saying hidden in the margins of the scroll. The universe is not responding to who you wish to be. It is responding to who you see yourself as. These words reveal a truth that modern seekers often miss. Manifestation is not about chasing what you want. It is about reflecting what you already believe you are. And the clearest tool for this reflection, the scroll tells us, is the golden mirror. The golden mirror is not made of glass, nor does it hang on any wall. It is a spiritual mirror, forged in the inner temple of the soul. While an ordinary mirror shows the surface, the golden mirror reveals the vibrational image you hold of yourself. If you look into it and see lack, the universe reflects lack. If you see unworthiness, it reflects rejection. But if you look into it and see abundance, love and health already yours, the universe has no choice but to echo that truth. The scroll begins this teaching with a story. A young man, desperate for wealth, sought out a master of manifestation. He asked, "Why do riches avoid me?" The master handed him a polished mirror. "Look," he said. The man looked and saw worry in his eyes, fear in his face, heaviness in his body. "This," said the master, "is what the universe sees. Until you see yourself as wealth, wealth will not see you." From that day forward, the man practiced the golden mirror, shifting his inner image until the reflection changed. And when it did, so did his reality. The golden mirror technique is both simple and profound. Each morning, sit quietly and close your eyes. Imagine before you a great mirror framed in gold, glowing with light. This is not the mirror of your bathroom. This is the mirror of your destiny. As you gaze into it, you will not see your current self, but your true self, the one already aligned with wealth, love, and health. If your desire is wealth, see yourself in the golden mirror standing tall, confident, free. Notice how you walk, when money is no longer a worry. Hear how your voice sounds when you speak from abundance. Feel the calm in your chest when bills are no longer chains but choices. See yourself paying with ease, giving generously, living fully. This is the self the universe must reflect back to you. If your desire is love, look into the golden mirror and see yourself as already loved. Notice the glow in your eyes, the softness in your smile, the warmth in your presence. Feel the joy of companionship, as if someone is already walking beside you. Do not imagine a stranger's face. See only yourself radiating the frequency of love. For when you embody love, the world mirrors it with relationships, opportunities, and connections. If your desire is health, see yourself whole and strong in the golden mirror. Watch yourself moving with vitality, breathing deeply, laughing freely. See your body glowing with energy, every cell alive and harmonious. As you hold this image, your body begins to align with it. Cells responding to the vision, energy fields shifting to reflect health. The secret is this: the golden mirror shows not what is, but what must be. Every time you practice, you carve the image deeper into your subconscious, and the subconscious is the projector of your reality. When it holds an image with conviction, the outer world bends to display it. The scroll describes 3 steps for the golden mirror technique: see, feel, become. See, gaze into the mirror and visualize clearly the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Feel, step into that reflection emotionally. Let your body respond as if it is happening now. Become, carry that vibration into your day. Walk, speak, and act as the reflection, not as the old self. This is not pretense, it is remembrance. You are not pretending to be someone else. You are remembering the version of yourself that already exists in the field of all possibilities. The scroll warns of the danger of the dark mirror. If you look into your reflection and focus on lack, fear, or doubt, the universe will magnify it. Many live trapped in this mirror, never realizing they can choose the golden one. But once you choose, the dark reflection loses power. There is another story of a healer who struggled with illness. Each day she looked in the mirror and saw weakness, and so weakness remained. When she discovered the golden mirror, she began to see herself whole, even when her body still ached. Day by day, her cells responded, her energy shifted, and health returned. She said later, "I did not heal by medicine alone. I healed by changing the reflection." Modern science hints at this truth. Experiments in neuroscience show that the brain cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. Athletes who visualize themselves training improve as much as those who physically train. Patients who imagine healing recover faster. The golden mirror is the ancient form of this truth, encoded in spiritual language. The scroll instructs you to practice the golden mirror daily, especially at dawn, when the mind is clear, and at night, before sleep, when the subconscious is most open. 10 minutes is enough, but consistency is the true power. The more you see, feel, and become, the faster reality reflects. The chapter closes with these words: "You are always looking into a mirror. Choose wisely which one you gaze into, for it will gaze back into you." Keeper of the scrolls, hold the golden mirror in your heart. Look upon your true self, radiant and whole. For this is the 6th code, the code of reflection, the golden mirror technique. Chapter 7. The Quantum Rewire. There is a truth the scroll does not hesitate to reveal. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are wired to expect. This expectation is not conscious. It is woven into the fabric of your subconscious, programmed by memories, traumas, beliefs, and the stories you have been told since birth. If your subconscious carries the code of scarcity, you will live scarcity. If it carries the code of rejection, you will meet rejection. If it carries the code of sickness, your body will echo it. This is why the ancients preserved a secret method to break the cycle, the art of the quantum rewire. The subconscious is not an enemy. It is a servant, but it is also stubborn. It repeats what is familiar, even if it causes suffering, because familiarity feels safe. This is why so many people pray for wealth while expecting lack, seek love while expecting heartbreak, or chase health while expecting decline. Their conscious mind asks for one thing, but the subconscious whispers another, and the universe always answers the louder voice. The quantum rewire, the scroll explains, is the process of erasing the false codes and inscribing new ones. Imagine the subconscious as a manuscript. Over the years, words of fear, doubt, and limitation have been written into its pages. The quantum rewire does not rip the manuscript apart. Instead, it writes over the lines, replacing the script of limitation with the language of possibility. Slowly, the old story fades and the new one shines through. The technique begins with awareness. You must first recognize the code you are carrying. The scroll suggests asking yourself, what do I secretly expect? If wealth arrives, do you expect it to leave quickly? If love appears, do you expect betrayal? If health improves, do you expect it not to last? These hidden expectations are the old codes. Naming them brings them into the light, and what is brought into the light begins to lose its power. Once the old code is revealed, the second step is interruption. The scroll describes this as the shattering of the pattern. When the thought arises, money never stays with me, you must stop and declare, that is the old code. It is no longer mine. Do not fight it with anger, for resistance feeds it. Instead, dismiss it with authority, like closing a door on a guest who no longer belongs. The third step is inscription. Here lies the true power. The scroll instructs, write the new code as if it were carved into golden letters. If the old code was, I am always rejected, the new code is, I am love, and love surrounds me. If the old code was, I am always sick, the new code is, my body is whole and vibrates with health. If the old code was, I never have enough, the new code is, I live in abundance and it multiplies. Repeat the new code daily, not as wishful thinking, but as remembrance. For repetition is the pen that inscribes upon the subconscious, but the scroll goes further. Words alone are not enough. Emotion is the ink that seals the code. You must feel the truth of the new statement in your body. Whisper, I am abundant, while feeling gratitude as if wealth is already in your hands. Whisper, I am loved, while remembering the warmth of connection, even from a friend or a pet. Whisper, I am whole, while feeling the joy of breathing freely. The emotion is what burns the code into the quantum field. The quantum rewire also uses imagery. The scroll suggests a powerful practice. Each night before sleep, imagine your mind as a book. See the old words fading, dissolving into dust. Then see golden letters writing across the pages, glowing with light. These letters are the new codes, burning into your subconscious as you drift into the realm where the mind is most open. Night after night, the book transforms. There is a story here of a man who lived in constant failure. His family told him he would never succeed, and the world echoed it. But when he discovered the quantum rewire, he began writing over the story. Each day, he declared himself successful. Each night, he saw golden words etched into his mind. At first, nothing changed, but after weeks, opportunities appeared. Confidence grew. Success arrived. He did not change the world first. He changed the manuscript within. Modern science now echoes this wisdom. Neuroscience speaks of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through repetition and emotion. Psychology teaches that affirmations combined with feeling reshape beliefs. Even quantum physics suggests that reality mirrors expectation. What mystics preserved as ritual, science now begins to measure. But the scroll includes a final warning. Do not rewire only for yourself. When you rewrite your codes, remember to weave in love, compassion, and abundance for others. Selfish rewiring creates imbalance, and imbalance always collapses. True manifestation uplifts not only you, but all touched by your frequency. So, keeper of the scrolls, take this code into your hands. Break the old patterns gently but firmly. Inscribe the golden words into your soul. Feel them, live them, breathe them until they are no longer practice, but truth. For this is the seventh key, the quantum rewire, the art of rewriting destiny itself. Chapter 8. The Health Code. The scroll whispers a truth that modern medicine has only begun to rediscover. The body is not separate from the spirit. The body is the spirit made visible. Every cell carries memory. Every organ vibrates with emotion. Every heartbeat echoes the codes you live by. Health is not simply the absence of illness. It is the harmony of energy within and without. The ancients called this harmony the health code. To them, sickness was not just physical. It was a distortion in frequency, a break in alignment between body, mind, and spirit. And healing was never only about herbs or rituals. It was about restoring the vibration of wholeness, bringing the body back into remembrance of its natural state, radiant, strong, alive. The scroll tells us that the health code has three pillars: gratitude, emotion, and belief. Gratitude cleanses the body, emotion fuels it, and belief directs its repair. When all three are aligned, the body shifts rapidly, sometimes in ways that seem miraculous. Consider gratitude. Modern seekers use it to attract wealth or love, but its power over the body is even greater. Gratitude releases tension, lowers stress, balances energy. When you whisper, "Thank you for my breath, thank you for my heartbeat, thank you for my life," your cells respond. Science now shows that gratitude lowers blood pressure, strengthens immunity, and even rewires the brain. The ancients knew this long ago. They taught that a body bathed in gratitude is a body bathed in light. Then comes emotion. The scroll says, every illness is born of emotion, and every healing begins with emotion. Anger burns the liver, fear weakens the kidneys, grief crushes the lungs. But joy strengthens the heart, peace nourishes the blood, love heals every cell. When you spiral into love, when you breathe peace into your body, your cells shift their vibration. Healing becomes not an effort, but a natural consequence of alignment. Belief is the final pillar. Without belief, gratitude and emotion lose their force. Belief tells the body what to expect, and the body obeys. If you believe you are fragile, your body echoes fragility. If you believe you are resilient, your body mirrors resilience. This is why placebos often heal where medicine fails. The body follows belief as faithfully as the stars follow their courses. The scroll offers a practice known as the breath of healing. Sit in stillness. Inhale deeply, whispering gratitude. Thank you for this breath. Hold it and feel love expanding in your chest. Exhale softly, declaring belief, my body is whole. Repeat this for 7 breaths. With each cycle, imagine light flooding your body, entering each cell, dissolving shadows of sickness, restoring harmony. This is the ritual that activates the health code. There is a story carved here of a man who was told he had only weeks to live. He discovered the scroll and practiced the breath of healing daily. He breathed gratitude, radiated joy, and believed in life. Against all expectation, his body healed. The physicians called it impossible. The scroll calls it remembrance, for the body always remembers how to be whole if we give it permission. The ancients often gathered in circles, chanting together. Their chants were not prayers of desperation, but frequencies of healing. The vibration of voices lifted the energy of the sick, aligning them with wholeness. Modern science now records how sound therapy restores cells, how meditation changes immunity, how emotion alters DNA expression. The ancients lived what science now measures. The scroll also warns, guard your words, for they are codes of health or sickness. When you say, I am tired, I am weak, I am broken, your body obeys. When you say, I am whole, I am strong, I am alive, your body also obeys. Words are commands, and your cells are listening. Speak only what you desire to embody. But the health code is not only for healing illness, it is also for strengthening vitality. Those who live by it wake with energy, move with joy, and radiate light that others feel. Their presence itself becomes medicine, their touch a balm, their smile a spark of life. This is why the scroll calls them living temples, for health is holiness embodied. The scroll ends this chapter with a vision. Imagine yourself standing in a river of golden light. The water flows through you, carrying away pain, restoring strength. As you breathe, the river enters your cells, healing them from within. Whisper, I remember my body is whole. With each repetition, the code is activated, the body realigns, and health returns. Keeper of the scrolls, you now hold the 8th code, the health code. Live it not only when sickness comes, but every day. Let gratitude be your food, love your medicine, belief your shield, for the body is the temple, and when you honor it, the temple becomes eternal. Chapter 9. The Final Scroll. The scroll has guided you through many secrets, the forgotten frequency, the flame of desire, the ritual of the 3 energies, the law of 72 hours, the spiral of love, the golden mirror, the quantum rewire, and the health code. Each code has been powerful on its own, but as the ink deepens across the parchment, the scroll reveals that none of them were meant to stand alone. They are fragments of a greater whole, pieces of a final mystery. That mystery is known simply as the Final Scroll. The Final Scroll does not give a new code. Instead, it weaves the others into one. It shows you that manifestation is not a technique, but a way of being. When the codes become natural, when they are no longer practices but your very identity, then the universe does not need to be convinced. It responds instantly, as naturally as breath. The scroll says, the final scroll is you. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. You are not just the reader of the codes. You are the parchment, the ink, the vibration, the energy. The universe is not outside you, waiting to be convinced. It is inside you, waiting to be remembered. But how do you live the final scroll? The manuscript describes 3 stages: integration, embodiment, and transmission. Integration. First, you must allow the codes to merge, no longer separate practices, but one flow. When you breathe, you also remember desire. When you visualize, you also spiral love. When you affirm, you also rewire. Integration means living the codes not as rituals, but as second nature. You no longer do the practice. You are the practice embodiment. Second, you must embody the codes so fully that they shape your every action. If you hold wealth in the golden mirror, then walk through your day as if abundance flows already. If you spiral love in your chest, then let your words carry that love to others. If you rewire your subconscious, then choose thoughts and actions that echo the new story. Embodiment is the bridge where vibration becomes matter. Transmission. Finally, you must share. Not by teaching, not by preaching, but by presence. The scroll insists. Those who hold the final scroll become living scrolls themselves. Your energy will radiate without effort. Others will feel peace near you, opportunities will open by your presence, and love will multiply around you. You will not need to convince anyone. The vibration will speak for you. The scroll warns. The final scroll cannot be forced. It cannot be reached through greed or impatience. It unfolds only when the other codes are lived with sincerity. But once it opens, you will notice reality bending faster than ever before. Doors open without knocking. Love flows without searching. Health restores without effort. You become a magnet not because you seek, but because you are. There is a final story inscribed faintly in the corner of the parchment. It speaks of a master who studied all the codes for years. He practiced the rituals, repeated the affirmations, breathed the breaths, but still something was missing. One night, he dreamt of holding a scroll, blank and shining with golden light. When he unrolled it, there were no words, only a mirror. And in the mirror, he saw himself. At that moment, he understood. He was the final scroll. From then on, everything he desired came effortlessly, for he had stopped chasing and started being. Science, again, mirrors this mystery. When researchers study those who thrive, who live long, happy, abundant lives, they find not only habits, but identity. These people do not try to be healthy. They see themselves as health. They do not try to be wealthy. They see themselves as abundance. Identity is the strongest code, and it is precisely what the final scroll whispers. Become the identity of what you desire, and reality bends to match. The manuscript ends with a ritual called the closing of the scroll. To practice, sit quietly with your hands open, breathe deeply 3 times, whisper each code, frequency, desire, 3 energies, 72 hours, love, spiral, golden mirror, quantum rewire, health. As you name each one, feel it entering your body. Then whisper, I am the final scroll, I am the living code. In that moment, you seal the teachings, not on paper, but in your soul. The final scroll is not an ending, but a beginning. It is the point where practice becomes presence, where searching becomes knowing, where the hidden becomes revealed. From this moment on, you no longer need to seek the scroll outside you. The scroll is alive within you, keeper of the scrolls. This is the 9th key, the final scroll. The revelation that you are the code, and the code is you. Epilogue, the scroll closes, for now. The parchment lies before you, its edges worn, its ink glowing faintly as if alive. For hours, days, perhaps lifetimes, you have walked through its passages. You have breathed the forgotten frequency, ignited the flame of desire, performed the ritual of the 3 energies. You have trusted the secret of 72 hours, spiraled into love, gazed into the golden mirror, rewired your destiny, and awakened the health code. Finally, you have touched the mystery of the final scroll, realizing the ultimate truth, that you are the living manuscript, and now the scroll begins to close, but not forever, only for now. The ancients always warned, a scroll never ends, it only waits. The teachings do not vanish as the parchment folds. They echo in the breath you take, in the thoughts you think, in the choices you make when no one is watching. The closing of the scroll is not silence, it is a whisper reminding you that the words you have heard are not outside you, but within you. Imagine the scroll rolling itself shut, its golden clasp fastening with a quiet click. Yet even as it closes, the vibration remains in the air. You feel it in your chest, like a hum that will not fade. It is the resonance of truth, and truth cannot be locked away. The scroll tells us, when one cycle closes, another begins. You may think this is the end of your journey, but in truth, it is the beginning of embodiment. The codes are no longer lessons to study, they are life to be lived. When you wake tomorrow, you will breathe differently. When you speak, your words will carry a new vibration. When you walk, the ground itself will feel the echo of your alignment. The scroll has closed, but its words have already become part of your being. The ancients wrote epilogues not as farewells, but as blessings, and so this scroll blesses you. May your desires spiral into love. May your health shine like the sun. May your wealth flow as rivers flow to the sea. May your soul remember what it has always known, that creation answers not the desperate, but the aligned. It is said that after a seeker finished reading, the scroll would test them, not with challenges, but with life itself. An opportunity would appear, a choice would arise, a whisper of destiny would call. The question was never, did you understand the codes? The question was always, will you live them? For knowledge unused is ink that fades, but knowledge lived is light that endures. And so, keeper of the scrolls, as the parchment folds, I ask you, what will you do with what you have remembered? Will you speak the words of abundance into your mornings? Will you spiral into love when fear approaches? Will you choose health when the world speaks sickness? Will you embody the final scroll when doubt returns? The closing of the scroll is your opening. The book rests in silence, but you are its voice. There is one last image painted at the edge of the manuscript, a candle burning in darkness. As the scroll closes, the flame does not extinguish. It multiplies. One flame becomes two, two become four, until the room is filled with light. This is you. You are not just a reader of secrets, you are a bearer of them. And your light will awaken others. Do not worry if the scroll feels heavy. Do not worry if doubt whispers. Every keeper has stumbled, every keeper has questioned, but the scroll assures, the codes are patient, they will wait until you remember again. The closing is not a door slammed shut, but a pause in a melody, preparing for the next note. And so, with reverence, the manuscript folds. The air grows quiet, the golden clasp shines once more. But listen closely, the hum still vibrates, the resonance still calls. The scroll is closed, but your journey has only just begun. Keeper of the scrolls, this is not farewell. This is the blessing of continuation. Until the next secret is revealed, until the next code awakens, until the next chapter writes itself upon your soul, the scroll is closed. For now.